Happy New Year, jazz hands. It's the first week of January, and like a lot of people, I've resolved to eat healthier in the new year. We'll see if that lasts till February. But for now, one of the steps I want to take is to cook during the weekend so that when I get off the phones and don't want to cook, I have something set aside so that I don't just jump in my car and go out and grab something. So I found a recipe online for vegetarian chili, which is supposed to be pretty hearty, so let's give it a try. This recipe requires a lot of simmering, so you will need a large saucepan with a lid. I had to go buy one at the store today because I didn't have one. Also, look what my sister gave me for Christmas. He's a little scared. He's measuring cups. And his arms are teaspoons and tablespoons. Isn't that cute? I killed him! Thanks, Shell. She also gave me this nifty chopper from Pampered Chef. No more tears, I guess. So we'll figure out how it works. This recipe is gluten-free, high fiber, low calorie, vegan, and vegetarian. So apparently that means it's good for you. I'll have to see if it's good. Just good. I've actually never made anything vegan on purpose, so this is a new one for me. And the recipe looks very time specific as far as when you can add ingredients, so what to add, how long to simmer it, and all that. So I'm gonna go over the ingredients before I start. You will need 2 teaspoons of extra virgin olive oil. It called for 1 small onion. They were all the same size, so I just got the smallest one that I could find. Probably only use like half of it. It also called for 1 small sweet potato, which, again, they were all kind of the same size, so maybe start with half of that as well. Peeled. Make sure you peel it. It calls for 2 cloves of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of ground chipotle chili, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, or to taste. It calls for 1 1/3 cup of water, but I'm going to use vegetable broth instead. So that's probably gonna, you might want to add less salt or no salt until you taste it. You need 1 can of black beans, 1 can of diced tomatoes, 2 teaspoons of lime juice. It doesn't call for it, but I'm going to add some sweet corn, and 2 tablespoons of cilantro. Before I even get started, I'm going to chop up all of my ingredients so that I can just throw them in as needed. The sweet potatoes were too thick. It's stuck now. I already broke it. Dadgummit. Sweet potatoes are too thick. Don't use it for that. Figure out how to cut all this stuff out of here. Well, the sweet potatoes were a fail. Had to chop them with a knife. Let's see how it does on the onions. That worked better. Still make me cry, but at least I don't have to chop them by hand. Made quick work of the garlic. This thing's pretty cool. Makes me feel pampered. So the directions read, heat the oil in a large saucepan over medium-high heat. Add the onion and potato and cook, stirring often until the onion is slightly softened, about 4 minutes. Add garlic, chili powder, cumin, chipotle, and salt, and cook, stirring constantly until fragrant, about 30 seconds. It's so specific. That's been about 4 minutes. I added all the spices and garlic in a bowl here. This is the chili powder, the cumin, the chipotle, the garlic, and let's dump it in and stir it for 30 seconds. Now we're going to add the 1 1/4 cup of either water or I'm using vegetable broth. So the next directions say to bring it to a simmer, cover, reduce the heat to maintain a gentle simmer, and cook until the potato is tender, 10 to 12 minutes. This has been simmering for about 10 minutes. I drained and rinsed the black beans. I also added 1 can of corn. The recipe didn't include that, but I added it. And so you want to add the black beans, as well as the diced tomatoes and the lime juice. Put it back on high heat and return it to a simmer, stirring constantly. Reduce the heat to maintain a simmer and cook until slightly reduced, about 4 minutes. And lastly, not leastly, cilantro. Look at that. So pretty. It's like a rainbow. Now I'm not a vegan by a long shot, but I have to admit that looks pretty darn good. Look how many colors it has. Do you think it's true that the more colorful something is, the more healthy it is for you? There's probably a degree of truth to that. If you look down at your plate and it's all the same color, or if it's all brown, probably means you're eating crap. Well, let's give this a try. Still pretty hot. Pretty good. I didn't add any salt because of the vegetable broth. Probably needs a little. Not much, but some. And a little more spice. I think I'm going to put a little paprika on it. But all in all, really good. And it's pretty healthy. So, thumbs up. I'm always looking for new recipes. If you ever have any suggestions, y'all have a good night and enjoy.